Hello everyone, Cannelings here, and welcome back. It's been a while because I've had a lot of stuff to deal with school, but I'm back, and today is going to be a very special video. Of course, before we get into that, I want to thank you all for supporting the last video. It blew up. Well, by blow up in my terms, it got like the most views in like the shortest amount of days, which is insane. MCC Scuff was amazing. I was very surprised by the ending, so congratulations to the Lime Llamas and the Blue Bats for winning. That was something none of us saw in that video in the stream if you watched it. So yeah, enough of me blathering about the previous video. This is the topic of today's video. I'm going to be reacting to Lackadaisy, the pilot, by Lackadaisy. This has been one of the most recent videos that's been trending recently. 5.7 million views in 10 days. It's really blown up. Now, I'm not an animation expert, so I'm not going to be giving like aspects of like how good the animation was. It is amazing, and I do recommend you check it out. But what I do know is history, and this is based off the Prohibition era. So I'm going to take a look and see how historically accurate is Lackadaisy. I'm not going to be too hard. It's an amazing film. I will be, and I did do some research about some things. Not a lot, because I'm recording this video and releasing it the day it goes out. But I hope you guys like it. And without further ado, let's check out Lackadaisy, the pilot. Now, I have watched this once before. And I liked it, of course, but that was when I was like on a bus heading to Philadelphia. So now you can watch this now. Of course, as to start, there is a warning. This is, of course, for a bit more of an older viewing audience. There is gun violence and alcohol consumption. At least there isn't anything that I'm too uncomfortable with, but if you're not comfortable with gun violence or alcohol consumption, you can click away if you want. We're beginning with a introduction to the people that made this, Iron Circuit, and I think something happened to the HD quality. That's kind of loud on my end. So of course, that's a typical speakeasy, and this takes place in St. Louis, Missouri, 1927. Sorry, my actual cat's in the background. To be honest, I don't know exactly what he's saying. Interesting in I never caught this the first time watching, but now he says here he mentioned immigrant and veteran. Around this time, of course, the United States was accepting many immigrants, And from a little bit of research I did, of course, a lot of them were involved in Prohibition because of discrimination. And he also mentioned veterans because this, of course, happening after World War One. A lot of them are struggling to find ends to do so. They're doing stuff like the Prohibition stuff that's in this film. So I believe that little whole spiel that was going on on the Golden Bridge is kind of to symbolize the American dream, and it being in St. Louis is kind of also a tribute to that, with its archway supposed to be the entry to the West. Of course, this is now the entry to opportunity for them, and from a small little speakeasy. Of course, speaking that prohibition was a crime, they're also coming in their own by this. I forgot what the term is, but digging up a grave. I'm pretty sure that's a joke on animation. Rubber hose, which is this is slightly inspired. No, he's okay because cats land on their feet for the most part. That's definitely German, kind most for the most part. If you want to read this, you can. This is kind of a chapel service of a funeral service. So I don't really know much about this, to be honest. If they would hide them in cemeteries, but I say to give it they're going in to remote areas to get the liquor. It kind of does make sense, and the frogs here kind of emphasize it. Two of the biggest places in my mind when it comes to prohibition is Chicago and Louisiana. Louisiana for the swamps, and Chicago famous people such as Al Capone. And I will mention later why they chose St. Louis. Okay, I'm just the worst flirting. So what I was gonna say about St. Louis, why I think it's a perfect location, despite some people might be asking why not Chicago or Louisiana. I think because animating a ton of swampy marsh might not be the best. I'm not an expert, so I don't know. And Chicago is actually a place of higher competition. From my research, St. Louis was not really big, but did have quite a bit of crime relating to prohibition. Of course, there was a lot of speakeasies and gangs there. So it's actually a perfect place. As we mentioned before, St. Louis and its arch, and St. Louis in general was seen as an entry to the West and now an entry of opportunity for the American dream. They're kind of living that as an entry and opportunity for their speakeasy, or for whoever runs the speakeasy. I forgot their name. and there being relatively low competition, except for what we might see in a couple minutes. Alcohol. So this was a thing that made me laugh in the actual one, Canadian whiskey. It does slightly make sense. It was mostly on the West Coast, however, where they would import a lot of Canadian whiskey to places like Seattle. But I'm pretty sure St. Louis isn't that far to reach. I'm from the Midwest, so St. Louis is not that far. So transporting it from Canada to St. Louis isn't out of the question. I wonder how they didn't hear the car. Oh boy. I just wonder why these other gangsters would find them here. There's a couple of French words. So maybe these people did drive all the way north from Louisiana a little bit. I thought about like the scientific logistics of them driving with these old cars. And while it it can happen, okay, before I interrupt them, they interrupt me. These cars were not the fastest back in the day, but it's not impossible to imagine a chase like this because this happened with like gangsters all the time. But at the speeds they're going, it might be slightly unrealistic. But of course, what's going to happen next is more realistic. My cat just walked in front of me. Okay, I don't know how many balls you're losing there. Man, say hello to my little friend. If we didn't have to just prolong this for just for the sake of the chase scene, of course. Okay, boss guy. Desert Eagle. Oh, I don't know guns. This thing is brilliant though. Like these types of guns would shred these old cars. He's holding up for the most part. I mean, theirs is basically destroyed at this point. You went left. On sale, Old Stone Quarry. I also research quarries. Not to the extent because it got me to like a 60 like plus page PDF, but they could definitely take refuge here. Also, I don't understand the weird moments of insanity these characters have. Okay, that was kind of creepy. I like the big, like that big strong guy from the other one. Just as a like little character, the character, I don't know, character analysis. That's I didn't realize the sign saying no. I do know, like, they are twitching their ears. This is also a bit of an character analysis. Of course, they're cats, so they can detect quite a bit. Don't worry, he's not dead. And here we got the big guns. I guess it's not stupid if it works. I don't know how it's not blowing up the vehicle though. What's happening? More like who's happening? Nice. You got saved there. They're hitting water. Nice. I don't know how much liquor they have left. And back to St. Louis. Well, it was on sale, so I don't think anybody's going to be wanting it broken. A nice little detail here. They're hiding this thing as if it was a cafe, when it's actually a speakeasy. That's actually what they did, of course. They would hide speakeasies under legitimate business. Speaking to a dead husband. You know, that talking to yourself, thinking you're talking to someone else. I'm not going to comment too much on religious values. That's a cool portrait. There's a couple patrons left. Yeah, this place has gone out of popularity. Sorry for background noises. My cat's being weird. Characters here are kind of key when for most stories, especially in this time period. The character that was just talking, with the glass, is kind of like the public figurehead. Kind of like maybe they're the lawyer. I'm not too deep on the lore. he's the one to kind of have their back. As he said, he's the face of the community. So he's the one to totally say, guys, this is a legit coffee shop business. This is no speakeasies behind this store. You're not going to gain most from smoking 2 cigars. This Victor character was honestly quite interesting to me. And also, I've lost the ability to pause. Okay, there we go. I did do a little bit of research on Russian immigrants because I'm pretty sure this character of Victor is Russian. He speaks with a very heavy Russian accent. And I mean, I did find stuff about Russian immigrants, although the way how he got here is a bit confusing. Most Russian immigrants stayed in New York or moved out west with Scandinavian immigrants, which weren't that many. And it's mostly to places like the Dakotas, of all places. So, how he ended up here is, I don't know, questioning. Although I do like this design, it's kind of more for Eurasian links. I'm kind of biased, because, I'm a Lynx as well, but hey. That is not a smile. What a way to make an entrance. I don't get. And none are dropped. I mean, if anybody's known to working with alcohol, it'd be Victor over here. There's one part here like that makes me think because I don't know how young these characters are. By the way, I only know Rocky's name. I forget their names for these two, but they're quite young. But then I realized, like during Prohibition, a lot of stuff just went out the drain, like legal drinking age. Like there's no such thing as legal drinking age at this point because everything with alcohol is legal. To agree. There's no way that stick is the one to break it. That's a trombone. I play the instrument, so dream sequence like this is the speakeasies we're most well known of. And that's the Lackadaisy pilot. I heard the names were right there. I was just too slow to read them. Also, yeah, quite a bit of gambling. I will give it a little bit more of an analysis, but there is one more scene to go through. But I just do want to say, like, good job to all these talented people, all the talented artists who made this. Like, it takes a lot to go from sketches to animation. And there's all the reference cats. Okay, that was a little bit of an interesting one. Dragons and he breathes out smoke. And that was Lackadaisy. a shout out to all the people that worked on it. It's quite an incredible animation that took a long time, taking it from a webcomic since 2009, I think, to now is incredible. And Pilot, I don't know what they'll do. I think they're going to submit it to a couple places. But that is incredible. Good job. On historical accuracy, it's an A+. There's some stuff that doesn't make sense, as I said, like how did a Russian make it all the way to St. Louis is a bit of a questioning matter, and of course some of the physical logistics. But overall, on historical accuracy, it's pretty good, and the setting is ideal, for a small speakeasy like Lackadaisy, of course. Being in St. Louis, where it doesn't have the big competition of Chicago, but doesn't have to work as hard as, say, if you're in Louisiana. Also, with the competition. So yeah, go subscribe to these guys. Their subscriber count is kind of just blown up, as well as their views. And you can see we have like a lot of people commenting here. Just like amazing, great, awesome. Especially like one of the top cartoon reviewers, Saberspark, he also commented. So yeah, a little bit of the loose ends I have to tie up. I'm going to be posting a link to my own story. It's less action-based than Lackadaisy, but it's my own story. It's a bit more chill. Of United. Starting soon. It's going to be on community posts, YouTube community posts, a link if I can get it to work. It's going to go up shortly after this upload. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed sticking around. I know this is a very long video because Lackadaisy is quite long, 27 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed it. Go check out the original Lackadaisy, and I'll see you all later. Also, remember to join my Discord. It's in a community post. So see you all later. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.